Okay, we'll call the meeting to order at 4:30 on November 2nd, 2018 for the Rockland Fire Protection District Board of Trustees special meeting. Called to order. Trustee Snowland.
Here.
Trustee Grum. Here. Trustee Rogers here. Pledge of allegiance, please stand and join us in pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A quick thanks to Libertyville for making us a new flag pole and installing it, which was awful nice of them. Okay, public comment. Anybody have anything for the board?
What was I gonna get? When's the next district meeting?
Second Monday in
I'll tell you.
That would be next Monday, right?
It's November 12th.
November 12th.
Today's November 2nd, so next Monday is the 5th, which is the first
Okay,
Monday.
because I was wondering with the voting going on Tuesday, we couldn't come in here on Monday. Okay, so it's the
November 12th.
November the 12th. All right.
Okay, anything else?
Don't rush us here. Let me think. Let me think. What else was I gonna ask? That's why I'm making notes here. One thing is the lights outside, and I'd appreciate it if you guys would look at me when I'm talking to you.
Yes, ma'am.
It's starting to get dark early.
Mm-hmm.
The last meeting that was here, we had to turn our headlights on so we could see getting to the cars.
Okay.
So what I'm asking, is there a
Well,
reason why you guys are not turning them on?
The lights, I believe, are automatically turned on, the outside ones. So I'll have to look at the timer and find out what's going on.
We had that same problem last fall too, was that I don't know if they were time or what it was, but they weren't coming on by the time it got dark. So.
Right.
And then I want to know, what are you going to do with the fire department sign out there on the grass?
I'm gonna get it covered over.
What are you gonna do with it?
I mean,
Cover it over.
what, you mean paint over it?
No, getting a cover to put over it so it doesn't say fire department next week.
So it'll just be blank?
Well,
Yes.
we probably need to have a discussion about that, because you still need to have a headquarters, and you still need a place to receive mail, and you still need a place to have meetings.
Right.
And if this is gonna be that place.
Right, it'll be the Rockland Fire Protection District office.
Right.
And I've talked to the post office, they're gonna continue delivering mail until further notice.
But, I mean, the public should know that too. So when you have a meeting, if you have your meetings here, the public knows that they're here.
Okay.
But
We
we could talk more about
Okay.
that.
Okay.
But my inclination, I think my preference would be to leave the sign out there, even if it's just the offices at this point.
We could put a sign on the door or on the side of the building that says, have a small sign made up. So if that one's lit up out there, and if you want that one, or you think that light up sign, the light up sign has been turned off.
Yeah, well, let me think about it. It's just when you mention it, I don't think I'd just get rid of it.
Does it, if I recall, Norwood Fire Department, Norwood Fire Department, isn't the last line Rockland Fire Protection District? If you could sort of cover it partially?
Well, my thought was to just have a simple sign made up by the front door that said Rockland Fire Protection District offices.
When we get done, let me go out and take a look at it, but like I said, we need to have some method by which any member of the public knows, am I at the right place?
Okay.
Not a
that's a
little
good way to
tiny
do it.
sign you can't see.
Yeah, you're right, and that's what I don't want, is, something that's minuscule.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? When is the money supposed to be in for Libertyville and Lake Forest?
I don't know what you mean. When is the money supposed to be in?
Yeah, the money.
The first payment
The
you're talking about?
first
Third
payment,
payment's supposed to be in.
Our payment to them,
Yes.
once the budget's passed, then we'll, at the next meeting, hopefully.
They didn't have a deadline?
They did not. They told us they would waive the first deadline, knowing that we had to amend the budget.
yeah, the IGA calls for the first installment to have been paid October 1st.
Yes, I know that.
But at the meeting, I told both Libertyville and Lake Forest representatives that I said, legally, that's not possible. not possible, because there's a process that must be followed in order to amend the budget to have the funds to make the payments, and we're in that process now. And even today, we'll pass the amended budget. Then once you pass the amended budget, I've got to file it with the county clerk. And even after I file it with the county clerk, I've got to take a copy of that budget, have it published in the newspaper, the Lake County News Sun, and the amended budget only becomes effective 10 days after the date of publication. I explained that all to him. So I said, you could put whatever day you want, but I said, I'm not going to let the district make a payment that's not permitted by law.
And they're 100% fine.
And they were all fine with that.
And they still are. They haven't even brought the subject up.
Right.
Now, what do you mean amended budget? You had the budget for 2018, correct?
We passed one in July, that's
All
correct.
right, now, amended means what? It means you're changing it?
Correct.
The final budget.
Well,
And why wasn't that done in front of the public?
We had
We did.
this discussion
When
at the
did
last
you do
meeting.
that?
we announced it.
I'm here all the time,
We-
correct, yeah.
We announced it at the September 18th meeting, and that's the same time when I said that there was the notice put in the paper on it was published on the prior Saturday, September 15th, that there would be a hearing on the amended budget, and the hearing would be conducted on October 18th. At the special meeting on October 18th, we had the public hearing on the amended budget. And now, because you have to have a hearing before you adopt the amended budget, we didn't have all the trustees, and it was the preference of the board to wait till you had all the trustees to be able to voice their opinion on the amended budget. We're here today to pass the amended budget. Once we pass the amended budget, they'll sign it. I'll take copies to the county clerk and file them there, but then I'll also make arrangements to have it published in the newspaper as required by law. And then 10 days after it's published, it becomes effective. So I suspect it won't be effective before the meeting on October 12th, or November 12th.
The amended budget then is going to, our taxes are going to go up to give you more money?
No, we gotta put that to a vote.
Okay, the two separate things. Budget gives you the authorization to spend money. The thing you're talking about is the levy. How much money do we need to levy?
Right.
You know, and that will be decided at the December meeting, okay? Because they passed the levy ordinance in December, because the levy ordinance has to be filed prior to the last Tuesday in December, which is Christmas this year, so it's Christmas. It's gonna be, and typically they give it to me and have me file it, because I file a bunch of them, and I can do a bunch of them at the same time. So we'll file the levy with the county clerk in December. And at the November meeting, November 12th, we'll do what we call they'll do their determination of how much needs to be levied. In fact, Trustee Snowden and I were talking about, how much do we need, because things have changed since last year's levy. But that's something that's not my decision.
Well, when this whole thing started, this was all gonna be good for the residents and the taxpayers. You're gonna save us money, right? Was that not said in public, at public meetings?
Dan Rogers said it.
And I don't know who, but didn't somebody on the board?
Well, he said it on Channel 7 that it was gonna save us $300,000.
Yeah, right on TV.
Okay, so,
Okay.
Well, sorry, Brian, but he did. I mean, he had to make his media.
That's fine.
His
Okay.
media debut.
Let's remind the few of us who are present that this is public comment, and we're subject to the rules and procedures of the board for rules for public comment.
so I'm not asking the right questions?
No, you can make any comment you want. You have 3 minutes.
I'm
to make
asking a
comments.
question, not a comment.
And the board won't respond.
And what, could you please, they're supposed to.
No.
No.
Oh, no.
Not the public, next week.
Okay, and then the last thing I'm gonna say is, why are you guys One time you got a meeting at 4:30, then you got another one at 10:30 in the morning, another one at 6:30. Is this a game we're playing here? Why are you guys doing that? And I really would like an answer. I hope you got that tape going, so a whole lot of people watch the, just sit there and stare like two little children.
Clicking your.
Nope, I'm talking right now. Looking out, can't tell us why you're playing this little game of all these different, hoping that one day you're only gonna see one people sitting here.
We're at our 3 minutes.
Okay, thanks.
Anybody else have any comments?
Brian, was this special meeting, 48 hours?
Oh, yeah. When did you post it? Tuesday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Wednesday
last.
morning.
I'll tell you, if it had not been posted 48 hours as required by the Open Meetings Act, we wouldn't be having
Well,
it.
since, we kinda see it last minute now since we don't have a firehouse anymore, so we used to get our data a little quicker when we had.
Is it somebody's phone?
Yep, I'm not answering it,
Okay.
don't worry about it.
And it's still being public in the newspapers?
Published in the newspaper.
Do you publish it in 2 newspapers, or is it just?
You don't publish, notice and agendas of regular meetings are not published in the
So
newspaper.
what is published in the newspaper? Just
Posted on the door.
board?
They have to be posted in a place that's accessible to the public.
That's it.
That's it.
I remember you said in a meeting before that you did it in a newspaper. What
Some,
was that for?
there are some requirements. When you have a public hearing on a budget and appropriations ordinance, either the regular one or the amended one, there has to be a notice of that public hearing has to be published in the paper. That's
Well,
true.
Since
If you
they're
have it-
approving a
Huh?
budget today,
But the hearing, the notice was published on September 15th for a public hearing on October 18th. The public hearing was conducted on October 18th. That's done.
you
If-
said that was conducted, okay? Okay.
If in fact, the other time you typically encounter a public hearing, generally, is if the board determines that the levy for whatever reason, needs to exceed more than 5% of the amount extended last year, the property tax of last year. If it's more than 105%, then in their truth and taxation determination, they make that determination, and then at the next meeting, they would approve a levy for that. Well, if it's more than 105%, then they have to do a truth and taxation hearing. And that's, I don't know if you remember in the papers, you get those notices with the black border, the quarter inch,
Right.
like, that's what, by law, it has to be like that.
Okay.
But those are, generally, those are the two notices, if you're gonna count them regularly. There's some other times when you're required to do it too, but generally, those are the two notices that are required.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Thank you, Brian.
Okay, anything else? Okay, moving on to number 4, consideration of the ordinance 2018-02, approval of amended BCA for FY 18-19. Discussion action, does anybody have any comments, questions, queries, or complaints?
You got my copies that I passed out? I mean, copies. The only thing I changed over the past one was the date to make it today's date. I used yours, Carl, and then I just changed the date.
No comments?
Nope, I mean,
Okay.
I did put a little work into it to get it to get the numbers just to
Sure.
Thank you.
jive out properly.
What are the lettering? We don't understand the lettering here.
So I have a motion I'll make a motion to pass the amended ordinance 2018-01 and adopt the amended budget appropriations ordinance. I'll make the motion, can I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, trustee Snowden.
I'm going to abstain.
Okay, trustee Grum.
Aye.
Trustee Rogers, aye, motion passes. Okay, attorney's report, update on litigation, naming the district as a respondent. Brian, you're up.
Hold on,
You want to start sending these around for signatures?
Yeah, I mean, you can't, like I said, Bob needs to keep one for the district files, and I need to take 3 to file. And you got a couple extras, you can use those, whatever.
Tammy got to sign this too?
Huh?
Does Tammy have to sign?
Yeah, she's the treasurer. If she's not here, she could sign an ministerial function at a later date. 'Cause
Yeah, I
usually
can tell her
boards
to come by
approve-
and sign
Tell
it.
her to come by and sign it. If she can do that,
She can give it to it tomorrow.
then on
I'll get a hold of
Monday,
her.
on Monday, after I finish rehab, I'll swing by and get them
Okay.
someplace. Put them in envelopes.
You know what, then
like-
I'll take them with me and just call me and connect up with me and
Yeah,
I'll connect up with you at McDonald's or wherever.
whatever.
Okay.
No, I'll let you guys finish that.
No, go ahead and start talking.
Can I start talking? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I emailed, these are copies, I emailed everybody copies of, these are the invoices for June, July, August, and September with a little summary I put together. Today I pulled a draft.
Oh,
I pulled a draft of what the October statement is. And what you see on here are, I highlighted and marked anything that was related to the litigation. There's nothing in June and July, because of course, there was nothing filed until August, so duh. But you see dates in August, you know, August and September. In October, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 entries, 1, 2, 3, 6 entries. The totals spent to date on efforts related to the complaint for a temporary restraining order and preliminary injunctive relief, naming the district as a defendant, has caused the district to incur expenses, costs of $12,064.26. And you've got that. I don't have copies of the October one because it's not finalized yet, but I went through and looked at it, and I've added it up here. I mean, and some of those are filing costs, some are mailing costs, some are attending court hearings. There was a number of court hearings, as you can imagine. But you'll see that summary on there, and I can and will update this. We can keep this on an agenda item till the matter is withdrawn. The last hearing we had was in October. In October, the petitioner's attorney, Tim Johnston, filed a motion to withdraw, and that has to be noticed and stuff like that. Well, he filed the motion, he filed the notices. Judge Marcoulier took it and ruled that he was permitted to withdraw. When an attorney's permitted to withdraw from an action by law, that party, those members, that party are entitled to 21 days to seek a substitute attorney who has to file an appearance with the court. If they don't, we got to deal with it. So that 21 days is November 15th. In addition, at that same hearing, another resident, Mr. Spath, filed a petition to intervene. Judge Marcoulier determined that she was going to defer action on that till December 13th, and the petition intervened. Nobody had received it. He filed it, but he did it by himself. God bless him for working through the clerk on that, because it's an adventure for attorneys, let alone a layperson. So she said she'd rule on that, and he's going to get copies out to everybody, so we have a chance to review it and comment properly. From a legal perspective, petitions to intervene may be appropriate where the party seeking to intervene, the interest of the party seeking to intervene are not adequately represented by any other member already a party. Well, I have to see what his assertions are before I can make any comments, but we'll see what happens. So anyway, November 15th is when, if they have a new attorney, the attorney has to file an appearance not later than that in the matter. If he doesn't, I don't know where we go from there. But December 13th is the next hearing that will definitely be in court for. in terms of further action, they filed their complaint for the TRO and injunctive relief. We filed a motion to dismiss. They filed an oral motion for a petition to file an amended complaint. They didn't do that. Then they filed a subsequent motion to file another amended complaint, and they didn't do that, and that's where we left it. So if in fact they again, the new attorney, assuming there's a new attorney, files an action, petitions the court for the authority to file an amended, yet a third amended complaint, we'll go in and tell them we want an opportunity to A, review it, and B, file an amended motion to dismiss. Because, as I argued in court, we don't think there's a legal, we think there's legal deficiencies in the claim. And we'll leave it at that. We don't need to go through the court stuff. But November 15th, we're looking for action, but no court. December 13th will definitely be court. There could be other action depending on what papers happen between November 15th and December 13th. Are there any questions?
No. Can we go back to the ordinance for a minute?
Sure.
Just noticing when signing it on the votes that it says absent.
Well, I thought it said abstain.
I abstained, but I think it says absent.
And it might, we can go through and do
I'm sorry, Phil, I didn't say you were absent.
No, that's implicit.
I thought it was yeas, nays, and abstain.
well, some of them I put forward, no, here it says absent. We can go through
Okay.
and change that to abstain. Because that was the vote.
Mm-hmm.
And we need this
They're
to
all
reflect
marked the same
reality.
way.
Yeah. Are these my copies that I'm gonna take?
No, they're my copies. I'm gonna take and have Tammy sign
Oh,
them.
have Tammy sign them, and then I'll
give
pick them
you
up on Monday.
And I,
Let me have the copy that you're keeping for now. I want them
Yeah,
all
I'll
to be
get
the
that
same.
signed. I think you've got, doesn't he have
you've
them all?
got 4 of them.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, declaration and action of surplus equipment, the laminator and supplies. Do we have to do anything?
Vote on it, or just no,
What are we doing with the laminator and support?
it's just, it was not on the last list of
Right.
items to be declared surplus, so we just added it this time.
In, I'd have to look to see what the resolution says. If it's included in the equipment to get rid of it, it's just another one of the details.
It was not included in the equipment, so I didn't know if we needed a separate resolution.
It would probably be more
Okay, so that-
appropriate.
Let's wait until we
Just
do
wait till
it.
the November 12th meeting, and
Okay.
we could do that. And in fact, what it's gonna be, I have a lot of
You're just gonna
districts where
drop
we
it
do
all
this.
right in there, right?
Yeah, you take the same format. The
Right.
format doesn't change. What changes is the exhibit with the listing of equipment.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
And perhaps
We just
it
threw
goes-
that in there because we have a department that's interested.
Right, well, yeah, it would not be appropriate to transfer it yet.
Got it. That's it.
Make a motion to adjourn? I'll
Motion.
second. Oh, go-
Yeah, motion at 4:53, motion by Grum, second by Snowland, all in favor?
Aye.